Not everyone who touches your heart stays, and not everyone who stays belongs to your heart. Yet, when two lives cross paths and decide to bind themselves in marriage, it is never an accident. In the unseen realm of karma, choices are not always made by the conscious mind, some are shaped by seeds planted long before the present breath was drawn. As the Buddha once taught, everything that has a beginning has a cause. And everything that arises dependent on something else. This truth, known as Padakasamuppada, or dependent origination, also governs the mystery of why two souls come together in marriage. Love is not always the root of union. Sometimes, it is debt. Sometimes, it is a lesson. Sometimes, it is a mirror showing everything one refuses to see. And only sometimes, it is the path toward liberation. Let us now walk through a story that unravels these truths, hidden behind the curtain of what seems to be romance, fate, and coincidence. In each chapter, the philosophy behind marriage and karma will be revealed, not as a concept, but as a living, breathing force in human life. The first meeting is not the beginning. A monk once sat in silence as a couple walked by, bickering over something trivial, perhaps a forgotten promise or a delayed errand. They seemed mismatched, yet were tightly bonded by vows neither fully understood. One observing might wonder, why these two? Why not someone else? But what appears mismatched from the outside might be karmically precise. A man entered the monk's chamber. His face carried lines not just of age but of silent suffering. He bowed and spoke, "I married a woman I thought I loved. Now I feel like a prisoner. Why would karma tie me to her?" The monk answered, "Because karma does not bind you to comfort, it binds you to clarity. Marriage is not about finding someone who completes you. It is about meeting the soul who triggers your unfinished work." The man paused, stunned. No spiritual teacher had ever said that marriage is not about love. But the monk continued, "In this life or another. A seed was sown. That seed grew into a pattern. That pattern needed a mirror. That mirror appeared as your wife." In Buddhist philosophy, karma is not just action but also the result of action. The experiences we go through are often the fruit of previous intentions. The person you marry carries with them your unresolved karma, not to punish, but to teach. The stronger the bond, the stronger the lesson. You do not just marry a person, you marry your past with them. The attraction of unfinished lessons. Long before vows are exchanged, the heart feels drawn, sometimes irrationally, sometimes helplessly, to another. Many believe this to be love. But often, it is resonance. A resonance not from the present, but from echoes that originated long ago. In one town, a quiet woman found herself inexplicably attracted to a man who made her cry more than smile. Friends warned her. Her mind resisted. But her heart obeyed an invisible pull. Against all logic, she married him. As time passed, she endured betrayal, silence, coldness. She asked herself why love felt like a wound rather than warmth. One day, she sought a temple. The old caretaker listened and said, "What you call attraction was recognition. Not of the soul's beauty, but of its burden. You recognized the one who owed you a debt of pain. And the universe gave you front-row seats to its repayment." She asked, "Then am I just meant to suffer?" He replied, "No. You are meant to awaken. You are not suffering because of him. You are suffering because of the attachment your karma still holds. The moment you learn the lesson, the pain becomes freedom." Attraction often serves as the doorway to karma's play. Not all who attract you are meant to stay. And not all who stay are meant to bring joy. Some come only to remind you of the patterns still governing your inner world. Buddhist teachings emphasize that desire is the root of suffering, and marriage, when born from unconscious desire, amplifies the lesson until one becomes conscious. The echo of promises made and broken. Two souls once loved each other deeply, but one left without explanation. In a different life, they are brought together again, but this time, the one who abandoned becomes the one who gets abandoned. This is karma's silent justice, not as punishment, but as restoration. In a meditation hall, a woman wept. Her husband had left her for another, and her heart carried the shards of that betrayal. The teacher asked her, "Can you remember a time you left someone when they needed you the most?" She hesitated. Then nodded. The teacher said, "Your soul remembered. That's why your love ran so deep. Because it wasn't just love, it was guilt seeking redemption." Many marriages are not new, they are continuations. Buddhist wisdom teaches samsara, the cycle of birth and rebirth, not only of bodies but of emotions, desires, and debts. If a promise made in one life is broken, it seeks fulfillment in another. Marriage is often karma's sacred attempt to bring balance to broken vows. When love is real but timing is not. Some people meet who are perfect for each other in essence, but not in evolution. They might share beautiful moments, but marriage between them becomes a battlefield. The world sees them as a perfect match. But inside, it feels like trying to hold water with open fingers, in a quiet retreat. A man asked a Zen master, "We love each other, but we fight every day. Should I leave?" The master replied, "Your souls met too early. She is still becoming the person who will understand you. And you are still shedding the person who cannot accept her. You met in love, but not in readiness." Karma does not only decide who enters your life, it also decides when. Many painful marriages begin with love but fail in alignment. Timing in karma is everything. Two souls may be perfect, but if one is still evolving while the other is ready, the harmony breaks. From a Zen view, it is not enough to meet the right person, both must be equally empty of ego and full of presence. The true purpose of a spiritual partner. In the deepest sense, marriage is not about companionship. It is about reflection. A spiritual partner is not someone who agrees with you, but someone who helps you see your shadows. True partners do not just soothe your wounds, they reveal them. One day, a monk shared this parable: a candle married the wind. The wind asked, "Will you love me even when I blow you out?" The candle said, "Yes. For only in darkness will I know the strength of my own flame." The monk then said to his students, "This is the essence of karmic marriage. You do not marry someone to complete you. You marry them so that you may know your own completeness. Through joy, yes, but often through friction." From the Buddhist lens, everything is impermanent, including relationships. But what is gained through the relationship can be eternal if it awakens wisdom. The highest purpose of marriage is liberation, not from each other, but from illusion. The right partner in karma is not who makes you comfortable, but who makes you conscious. Ending the karmic loop with grace. Some marriages are not meant to last. That does not mean they failed. It means the karma completed its course. Staying beyond that point leads not to growth but to stagnation. A divorced woman came to a Zen garden and said, I stayed in my marriage even when I died inside. Was that noble? The old teacher whispered, that was attachment wearing a mask of loyalty. She wept. The teacher placed a lotus in her hand and said, lotus blooms not in clear water but in mud. Your marriage was the mud. Your healing is the bloom. Buddhism teaches that letting go is not failure, it is freedom. When the karma of a marriage is complete, staying attached only breeds suffering. A wise soul recognizes the end, not with bitterness, but with gratitude. The experience, however painful, served its purpose. The soul chooses long before the mind does. In meditation, one can sometimes glimpse previous lives, not as fantasy, but as fragments of memory. Many who experience this find themselves inexplicably drawn to certain people, only to discover that those individuals once played a role in their soul's journey before. A young woman once asked during a Dharma talk, "Why do I feel like I've known my husband forever?" The teacher responded, "Because your soul did. The choice was made before this birth. What you feel is not nostalgia. It is remembrance." Marriage, in its deeper truth, is not arranged by logic or attraction. It is arranged by karma. What seems like coincidence is often continuity. You marry who you marry because your soul recognized a task to complete. A bond to honor, a lesson to master, or a mirror to face. Freedom beyond the form. Marriage is not the end. It is a doorway. Some walk through it hand in hand toward light. Others part ways once the lessons are done. But either path, when walked with awareness, leads to freedom. The monk said in his final sermon, the goal of marriage is not to make the other person stay. It is to become the kind of person who no longer clings. Marriage is not sacred because of its form. It is sacred because of its opportunity to awaken. Zen and Buddhist thought do not idolize marriage as an ultimate goal. It is seen as one of many vehicles toward enlightenment. What matters is not whether it lasts, but whether it awakens. The karma of marriage is not binding. It is a path. Walked consciously, it leads to liberation. Walked unconsciously, it leads to repetition. The two faces of love, attachment and awakening. Many enter marriage expecting only joy, affection, and shared dreams. When pain arrives, they assume something is wrong. But what if the pain is not a flaw, but a fire meant to burn the illusions we carry about love? Two people can say, "I love you," yet mean completely different things. One might mean, "You make me feel good about myself." The other might mean, "I choose to grow beside you, even when you don't." A Zen master once said, attachment says, "I love you because I need you." Awakening says, "I need you because I love you enough to grow through you." Attachment seeks pleasure and avoids discomfort. It clings to the version of the partner that brings ease and resists the version that reflects shadows. True love, in contrast, embraces all faces, joy and pain, light and dark, knowing that through this, the soul expands. In the karma of marriage, attachment often masquerades as love until suffering reveals the truth. When you marry their wounds, not their words. Words can lie. Smiles can hide. But wounds never stay buried. In every marriage, you are not just marrying a person, you are marrying their pain, their past, their inner child, and all the unspoken stories they've never healed. A man once told a monk, "She said she loved me, but she always pushed me away." The monk replied, "Then you must understand, she did love you. But her wound feared love. You did not marry her alone. You married the pain that lived in her silence." In Buddhist psychology, unhealed pain turns into karmic echoes. Unless one becomes conscious, those echoes dictate behavior. Many marriages are not failing because of lack of love, but because of unresolved inner wounds. The teaching here is simple but profound: when marrying someone, remember you are not uniting with their surface. You are walking into the same house as their pain. And unless both are ready to face those ghosts, the house collapses. The mirror of your inner self. Marriage does not bring a stranger into your life. It brings a mirror. Everything unhealed within you, every insecurity, every unresolved belief about your worth, will be reflected through the partner you marry. You think they are hurting you, but in truth, they are exposing you to yourself. A woman once said, "He always criticizes me. He never thinks I'm enough." A monk replied, "Then ask yourself, did you already believe you weren't enough before he said a word?" She nodded. He whispered, "Then he is not the cause. He is the mirror." Zen teaching says, when the mind is still, the world reflects clearly. But when the mind carries self-doubt, even love will feel like judgment. In karmic relationships, the partner often serves as a reflection of the self. The more healed you become, the more peaceful the reflection. The less conscious you are, the more distorted it appears. You don't fix the mirror by shouting at it. You purify your own mind. The debt of gratitude or the weight of burden. Karmic marriage does not always come from wounds. Sometimes, it comes from deep gratitude. Perhaps the one you marry once gave you life, shelter, or a profound kindness in another life. You return now not out of romance, but out of a soul's debt. One teacher shared this reflection: if someone marries a person they are not in love with, but cannot leave, watch closely. It may not be love that binds them. It may be an invisible gratitude the soul cannot ignore. Gratitude in the karmic field is powerful. One good deed planted in a past life can blossom into a bond in this one. While some feel trapped in such marriages, the enlightened view is to recognize the gift being repaid. Completion, then, does not come through guilt or endurance, but through conscious appreciation. Once the debt is honored with love, the soul is free to move forward. When the union awakens Dharma. Not all karmic marriages are stormy. Some exist to awaken higher purpose. When two conscious souls come together, their marriage becomes a path, not of emotional drama, but of spiritual expansion. A master once said to his students, when two souls marry not to fill each other, but to serve the world together, karma bows in reverence. Such a union is not based on what the other gives, but on what they build together for others. These are rare, but deeply transformative. In Buddhist practice, Dharma is the truth, the path, the mission. Some marriages are Dharma marriages. They are not based in personal gain, but in shared intention. These couples may not even have dramatic emotional stories. Instead, their bond feels like calm